Hi everyone, my name is Ling Ann Fang. I am an energy healer and artist and also an organic farmer. Today I would like to talk to you guys about the sleeping, how much you sleep. Sleeping is a very, very important part of our life. Regularly, maybe, the best would be like 7 to 8 hours every day. It would be the ideal life. So you can see this eye, yes, this eye is much smaller than this eye. Okay, you guys can see that they both are very small, but at least you can tell there's one is smaller. So what happened was, one probably about 7 years ago, I woke up at one weekend morning. So my eyes were just swollen. It was really big and painful. So, and I couldn't find any other doctors at that time because it was a weekend. Most doctors only take appointments. So I actually went to Chicago's public hospital's emergency room. So I was staying there for about like 5 hours, with the other thousands of people to get checked out by the doctors. People see, oh my God, this woman has a huge pink eye. We should just let her in first. But no, that's not the case. So everybody was all pretty sick at that over there. So anyway, so there wasn't any doctor can help me at that time. They could give me was painkiller. So I had to wait for next few days to talk to an ophthalmologist or something like that. My 6 months prior, I started to work at the chemical company. We formulate, skincare products. So my company gave me the insurance. So I went to an ophthalmologist. I tried to go to an ophthalmologist, but there was no doctor, no appointment. I had to wait until maybe 3 weeks from them. There was a doctor. I think she's not an ophthalmologist, but I forgot the title for that. She prescribed, eyeglasses for people, but she's also able to give prescriptions. Okay. So I went to see her. She has an open spot right away. So I went to see her. She was very nice. She actually had quite a few patients over there. And she said, "Well, maybe you touch your hand, something dirty in your hands that causes infections. Here's some steroids, a very, very little amount of steroids, and that will help your inflammation go down. At the same time, I give you the painkiller." So I took those. I said, "No, I really don't want to use a steroid." But he said, "Well, that's the best and the quickest way it can help your eyes." So for that, I took about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I went back to see her. The eyes were still not go down. Because of the painkiller helped me not feeling so much pain, but I could tell the inflammation was still there and they even become bigger because I literally feel there was a tumor inside of my eye. Every time when I open and close my eyes and I can feel there's something like scratch my eyeball. Uh, so she said, you probably really need to go to see a specialist. So she recommended me to other specialists, and I waited for the time. During that time, the previous doctor still gave me the steroids, but stronger dosage. The second doctor, also examined me. Every time you go through this exam, they had to dilate your eyes. It was a hot summer. Every time you're going in and out, you feel like your eyes are pretty much being burned by the fire. Until these days, if I see like really bright light, my eyes will still like, for maybe half minute or so, my eyes will still start to tear. But anyway, through all these process, I probably saw 5 different doctors. Nobody was able to help me to tell me what happened to my eyes. The eyes, the pain was controllable through the pain medicine, but the inflammations, the little tumor grew inside, never went away. Probably about like 4 months after that, one day I woke up from a dream. In the dream, I saw myself standing in front of the mirror and opened my mouth and pointed my tooth, one of my molar, like that. So, and I woke up. I said, wow, is that the reason? What happened was, when I was in the undergrad, there was a molar had a root canal, but maybe I was just too nervous, or before the final exam, I kind of, chew my own uh, tooth open. So this tooth was open the whole time. And because it had a root canal, so I didn't feel the pain. So in my dream, I click it right at that time. It was because of this tooth inflammation caused the eyes tumor. So I went to the office and called my dentist. I said, well, doctor, I really need to have a tooth extract. He said, well, what happened? I said, well, I'm having a lot of pain. I just, I didn't tell him all about my eyes yet. I just told him that I really need to have this tooth extract. So I told my boss, I said, you know what? I had to go to see the dentist right now. I mean, long story short, I will tell you later. So after the same day that I extracted my tooth, that night, I slept very well, of course, by the drugs. But next day, I tell you, that tumor just went away, literally. And I was just so thankful that my dream served as a magical doctor of my own, and then told me about it was because of this tooth. So the sleeping, how much sleep, that is very important. That the deep sleep that you can have, the better the rest that you could have. Throughout my life, I left home since I was 18. I have 4 jobs, since 7:30 in the morning, all the way to the next day 3 a.m. I was just doing this for many years. When I came to United States, I graduated from ESL to all the way to the graduate school to receive my master's degree within 7 years. All these years, I tried to take about like 22 credit hours per semester. Why? Because you can save more money. Plus, I'm doing artwork and also work study, so I really didn't have much sleep. In many, many of my in many, many, many nights, it sounds very embarrassing, but I had to share with you. My bladder was just not never, sometimes it was not able to control. So I would be peeing and sleeping at the same time in myself. Um, you know, but this is just what happened. Now I know it is because your adrenal glands were just kind of fire up. It's just too much for it. I totally lost the sensations, no control. It took me many years um, to regain the feelings, and then through acupuncture, through Chinese medicines, But during these treatment, I learned that sleeping, that every organs have its own individual time to rest, to recuperate, to regenerate. If you're missing that hours every day, eventually that organ will have some issue. And also through sleeping, that you can actually um, make your brain more functional. And now you hear my stories, that it is a good way that sometimes it will communicate it with you, dive into the deeper understanding of our body, our mind, and our soul. So since ever I started to use the gel, I'm very, very thankful. Every day I have an average, between 6 to 8 hours of sleeping. Sometimes more, 8 hours, sometimes is less, 6 hours. But I try to drink a lot of water and then rest well as much as I can, do a little bit of meditations, do a little bit self reflections and appreciations before I go to bed. And then normally I have very nice, good sleep. and beautiful dreams. I hope this you found interesting about my stories, and thank you again for being part of my group and being watching my video. Thank you. Take care.